traction engine. Except probably it wasn't really. He had the boiler of a traction engine, but what the fuck? This defies physics of all kind. Oh. And as it was expected, he did not work properly, and he was only scrapped after 4 weeks of use. Ego. No, this is not Edward. This was a stupid clone copy of Edward, but it failed miserably. Why? Because they used the wrong instructions, the wrong blueprint, the wrong absolute fucking everything, and it didn't work out. They gave up trying to clone Edward after that. Oh, look! It's cranky as a skyscraper. So yeah, one day, Cranky decided he would want to be a skyscraper for a change instead of a fucking crane. And when he did, he could see all over Sodor, but he looked more in place in London than on Sodor, mind. The one thing he said, he could shout down, "You're all a bunch of small tiny wankers!" Floor? No, that is not Flora, but a tram bus thing. I don't fucking know anymore. So Floor was an experiment, but he turned out completely wrong, and he couldn't even wipe his ass. Well, that's a given, isn't it? Madison was a well-meaning truck. He was useful. Of course, he was a three-wheeler like Madge, but there was just something not quite right about him, mind. He didn't know whether he was coming or going. He needed his driver to give him a bit of guidance and all that, but when he had a driver who didn't know the roads, he got completely lost and then fell into a forest. Thankfully, he was able to be saved, but he needed a lot of repairs and he was out of service until they could raise the money. Corn. This was basically Kevin after he took last night's steroids. The past few years he'd been angsting about his size, so he wanted to grow up and be bigger. But this was the result. He looked like a complete shit fusion of a... I don't fucking know anymore. Spencer was a weirdo. He thought he was like an A4, about as fast as Mallard, but he could only go as... how fast? 80 miles an hour, which wasn't even close. He was a fucking slow coach by that equation. But Burnell was a diesel locomotive hybrid experiment for the Skarloey Railway. His face was green, as probably would be in the Railway series. He tried to impress Rusty by doing his work for him, but it turned out that he was so stupid he couldn't wipe his arse. A recurring theme among these AI-generated things, aren't they? Dus was Daisy as a bus. Yeah, look. Daisy decided that one day she decided to be a bus for a change because there was nothing better that she could think about. So she decided to take over Bertie's work, and she did actually pretty well, in all honesty. Bingley. This is not bulgy, is it? It was bulgy, but he was full of fresh, fair balls. Whatever that is. And the chickens, they did lay eggs. They laid balls. So he went round with his balls and his chickens that laid balls. Cain. Fucking hell. This is too fucking cursed for me to even try. Bnidtchaen war ein deutsches Lokomotiv, aber war eine kleine Stücke Scheiße, weil war Schlechtes gebaut. War so viel Schlechtes gebaut. Ein Tag seine Kessel heftig explodiert, wie was im Bitterfeld im Jahr 1977 passiert. Warum hat sie nicht die verfickte Anweisungen lesen? Now back to English. Bnidtchaen was an innocuous bus, but she was not any old bus. She had a few screws loose in her. One day, when she was taking some visitors around the island, she got a bit dizzy and then went off the road. Thankfully, the passengers survived, but she didn't. She was cut up after that. But Soda was a grumpy old twat. It was an experiment. He didn't like anybody except his own ass. And what he said, fuck off. I'm not fucking interested in you. You can all kiss my arse. And then I will crash. And that is exactly what he did one day. He crashed into a train deliberately, and then his bollocks was scrapped. Milk was another experimental engine. But yeah, he looked completely fucking weird though. I can't make heads or tails about it. He was just a great experimental twat. I don't think there's anything else to say. Balls! Balls was a little thing on rails. And true to his name, the thing he would shout was balls, 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 balls. Everybody just got so annoyed at him that they decided to kick him off the rails, remove his wheels, but still he shouted balls, 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 balls. And then they had enough and scrapped his ass on sight. The moral of the story is don't be shouting balls or else you'll be scrapped.